Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the weekend edition of Wealth Town with me, your host, Norbert BM. Today we're going to talk about a portfolio, of course, and a couple of economic events, about what we bought, what we sold, and why we did it. So let's just get started with a major economic event that massively influences portfolios, because the last week was, after Trump got inaugurated, was a bit interesting, let's just say. And back to my usual predictions of the market, which we're also going to do at the end of this episode. I was right. The market had low risk in it, and it performed. We actually hit new all-time highs. As you hear up here, we hit 6,153 on the S&P 500. So new all-time highs for the S&P 500, which is currently also in still a buying position for MACD, and it is not overbought currently. On short term, it is overbought, but on a longer term, so if you look here at the 1 year, it is not yet overbought. After 6 months, it is overbought. So we could see here, actually on Friday, we did have a bit of a pullback, which could also signify that Monday will also be a pullback. But let's get into a couple of big economic news that did impact my portfolio. One of them was the creation of the Stargate project, or the initiation of the Stargate project. Still unclear how this is going to run, but Donald J. Trump, the new president of the United States, announced a AI project with $500 billion. It's $500 billion to be invested in this project. Now, it's mostly a private sector investment. It is to fund the infrastructure for artificial intelligence with the goal of outpacing the rival nations in the business critical technology. And by rival nations, I do believe they only mean China with it, because that will lead us to a second topic, which would be DeepSeek, which is AI, the AI released by China in the last couple of weeks, and it beat everything. So it beat ChatGPT, it has beaten Llama, it has beaten Gemini, everything. Okay, now back to our first story, the 500 billion investment into Stargate. Who are the investors? So President Trump presented CEO of AI, the CEO of Oracle, and the CEO of SoftBank. So these three companies are to invest in their own domains into this project. So OpenAI is the US Artificial Intelligence Research Organization, and it's developer of ChatGPT, of course. And Oracle, we have it as the US biggest data center and operators. And I do want to mention that I do owe Oracle, or stocks in Oracle, and they did have a major pullback here, where the announcement, or it was pretty clear that TikTok is going to be banned in the US. And after the President Donald Trump expanded that ban with 72 days or something like that, from which we have under 70 days now for making a deal, then Oracle jumped, and on the announcement of the deal of the new project, it jumped again. So I'm pretty happy currently with my Oracle position. I'm up 7.81%. This is Friday. Okay? After the market close, I'm always introducing here the data from market close, so it could also be a bit lower from where the market will then open. And my current investment of $6,300 is looking pretty good, with a profit of 456. I'm sorry, euros, not dollars. Okay, so about the project, basically they're going to invest $500 million in infrastructures. That is to build data centers, research them. SoftBank will do the management of the money. But Elon Musk says they don't have that money. SoftBank does not have the money. OpenAI is actually a private company. So how does this look? Well, they're going to invest, and this investment is going to take 4 years roughly, and each year they're going to invest a different sum of money, or that 500 billion, I believe, is going to be broken up in exactly 4 years. They're going to invest 100 now, 300 in the next year, and then make a pause and then invest a bit more. So also, who's going to benefit from this? That's the most important question. Well, the providers of the service, most likely. And one of them should be NVIDIA, of course. Although the stock on NVIDIA didn't jump that much upon the news, NVIDIA didn't have that good of a day. Maybe here a bit of a, but then it had a pullback. Actually, everything had a pullback on Friday. So I'm not going to judge this by the announcement. So definitely NVIDIA, maybe AMD, although I don't think so. Maybe Dell or HP. That's where I own Dell and HP, although I'm down on those positions. And then builders like Caterpillar and so on and so on. Copper may benefit from something like that. But once again, 500 billion over the next 4 years. It's pretty simple. It's 500 divided by 4, 125 billion a year. That's not much. That's not much. Taking into consideration that also Microsoft is investing 80 billion just like that for their infrastructure or their server build out. You must ask yourself, where is this going? Of course, because those servers are irrelevant in 3 years. In maximum 3 years is going to be an update. So the interesting question here is, where is the return? Because I don't know, see on 500, let's see, in 3 years they have to do an update. So times 3, they invested 375 billion. The return on this, is it 1%, 10%, is it 25%? Is it nothing? This is going to majorly impact the future investments on this. They could also hold this investment. This doesn't mean that they're going to 100% invest those 500 billion. They're meaning to invest 500 billion. And if they're going to stop at 200 billion, and they're going to say then that this is not profitable and make, boom, that's it, we're out of this, then those stocks are going to fall. So what I'm going to do here, especially with Oracle, is two things. What's going to happen to TikTok and what is going to happen to this kind of investments over the next and the upcoming year, this year and the upcoming year. And if I don't see more investments, then I'm going to exit Oracle. Simple as that. Okay, that's it for this news. The other news was with the major AI model DeepSeek from China that just beat out all of the models. Costs a fraction of the models that it costs that lower cost to build it, and it's actually trained on ChatGPT-4. So, and it also thinks that it's ChatGPT. So I don't have any kind of deep insight on this specific AI. I just want to mention that China once again took something, made a perfect copy of it, and they made it cheaper. And well, it seems that they made it better. So let's see where this is going to go from here. Now let's go to our portfolio. First things first, we reduced our cash. I reduced my cash position to, well, 0.13% of my portfolio due to the fact that I bought a couple of stocks. Also, my portfolio is currently at almost 160,000 euros, and I did not sell or add to anything. The only thing that I did is buy new positions, and those two positions are one, Palantir, and second, Palo Alto Network. So let's talk about Palantir first of all. Palantir has here a MACD buy signal triggered, so I feel pretty safe with this. And I'm going to say this is a trade. It's not a long-term investment into Palantir. I don't know where this is going to take Palantir, especially with the new administration. If the new administration is going to be friendly to Palantir, because Palantir's biggest, and I underline biggest client is the United States government. So if they're going to decide that no, we're not going to work with Palantir for whatever reason, then the stock is going to plummet. Okay, by the way, for those of you who didn't hear about Palantir, it is a technology business. They basically build and deploy software platforms that serve as the central operating system for its customers. It operates under the commercial and government segment. The commercial segment focuses on customers working on non-governmental industries, and the government segment is focusing, or it's involved in providing services to consume customers that are in the United States government and non-United States government agencies. And the company is basically a weapons producer, but with software. Some key states from the company: the market capitalization is 180 billion. It has no dividend yield. Their price to earnings ratio is up there with 400 PE. The basic EPS is $0.25 a share. Net income is $209 million yearly, and the revenue is 2.23 billion. The free shares are 2.06 billion, and it has a beta of 2.72. So there you go. So why did I buy Palantir? It was pretty beaten up here, and somewhere roughly I bought it actually on the Monday, I believe. So on Monday, that is January the 21st, is where I saw that, yep, this is going in the right direction, and it did also follow up with that. So I took a opening position. Currently, a position of 1.65% of my portfolio is invested in Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR, and I have big hopes in Palantir that is going to outperform, especially the next 3 months. Okay, let's go to the next stock that I bought. That is Palo Alto Networks. Once again, coming back for a deep slope here. Again, bought it on Monday when the signals were clear, and that the correction did stop. Although I was looking at it the week before, but I just couldn't pull the trigger. Still waiting. This is one of those stocks that you can never tell what it does, especially when some insiders are buying. So yeah, a couple of things about the stock. Palo Alto Network engages in the provision of network security solutions and enterprise service providers and government entities. So it operates throughout the following geographical segments in the United States, also in Israel and other countries. The company was founded by Nir Zak in March 2025, and it has performed exceptionally. I'd just say that currently the key stats are as following: market capitalization of 123 billion. It has no dividend yield. Price to earnings is 48, which is, well, it's up there, but it's not like Palantir. Basic EPS is at $4.25 a share. Net income of $2.58 billion and a revenue of $8.03 billion. Shares float is 648 million and a beta of 1.18, which is pretty good. Now, Palantir currently makes up 1.57% of my portfolio. Palantir has the ticker symbol PNW. As said, sadly no dividend yield, but it's a growth company, so do not expect to have a dividend in the near future. But it's up there between the best network providers, security providers for networks. And I also had Palantir back in beginning of last year. I hold it for a long time, actually bought it here. It is back at its correct direction. Now it's back to its old all-time highs. It exceeded its all-time highs, like here, drop down, trying to climb up again. I have big hopes for Palantir, so this is why I'm going to hold it until the signals are clear that troubles are coming. Okay, so that's it for my positions. Now let's wrap up with the assessment of the markets for the next week. Last time I said we are going to have a uneventful week with low risk, but the week that is due to follow will have some events. So we need to take into consideration that the upcoming economic events for the next week, which are on Thursday. So on Monday we have nothing. That is January the 27th. And on Thursday, January the 28th, we have durable goods orders, which is due to come out. Then on Wednesday, we have the Federal interest rate decision and the press conference. They are expected not to cut rates, but to hold them. I actually expect they're going to do what they say. So the market will react accordingly. I believe that if the market is trying to tell us something, and if the market is continuing to tell us something on Monday, we should be very, very cautious then going into this Federal decision. Then on Thursday, we have the GDP growth rate that will be 2.7, basically shrinking from 3.1. And also we have on Friday, January the 31, the core PCE, personal income and personal spendings report is month to month. So what does this mean for the market? Let's do a risk assessment here. The upcoming or economic events do concern me, so I'm going to take this as a high risk in the market. Also go to the S&P and get new all-time high, which is for me a bit concerning. But we didn't end up with also a negative Friday. So our market closed negative, which just basically indicates that people did not want to go into the weekend with risk. So they reduced their risk. So I'm going to consider this a high risk in the market. The S&P is on a strong buy signal, the MACD, which is for me high risk. It is not overbought. So we are at RSI 61. It's not very high risk, but it's just high. So I could conclude here that we should be cautious the upcoming week. And what I'm going to do is maybe reduce some risk on Monday if the opportunity occurs. I could be wrong, but for now, I see the markets signaling a bit of fear. Once again, they reached the top and they did not exceed it or did not go further. Now, this does not mean that it's going to go down. This could just mean that we're going to have a bit of a pullback next week and then it's going to go upwards once more. But who knows? If somebody knows, please leave it in the comment section below. This being said, let me hear what you think about the upcoming week. What's your risk assessment? I'm NovaPN, wishing you a safe week out there. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.